kidding me? Oh my God! That was a human missile intercept! Broad breaker!
We are back with a brand new edition of Weekly Roundup. Let's talk about the Raw after Wrestlemania. What a show we had. Let's get right on into it. We kicked off the show with the 17-time world champion, our WWE champion, John Cena. And then he insults us, the fans, and calls us sorry and says that we don't mean anything to him. And that he says that only 27 dates are left in his retirement tour. And he said when it ends, the title will come home with him. And then he says that he's the last real champion. Then afterwards, the Viper strikes. Randy Orton comes from behind and hits him with an RKO and lays out the WWE champion. I think we all know where this is leading. I think this is going to lead with John Cena versus Randy Orton, possibly for the last time at Backlash in Randy's hometown. And folks, I am here for it. But we go on to have a rematch for the women's tag team titles. We have a great match between Liv and Raquel going up against Becky and Lyra. And Liv and Raquel are able to regain the tag team titles. And then afterwards, Becky Lynch turns on her tag partner Lyra Valkyria. She came in and then they ended up losing the titles in one day, and she turns on Lyra Valkyria. But next up, we have the New Day coming out celebrating their World Tag Team title win, and then they're interrupted by the Alpha Academy, who challenges them for a tag team title match right here, right now. And then out of nowhere, before the match could get underway, the returning Rusev shows up and takes out Alpha Academy. The New Day run, they escape, but Rusev is back and he takes out Alpha Academy, and he is going to be a force to be reckoned with in this men's division. But next up, we have Io Sky coming out and celebrating her championship retain at Wrestlemania. And then she's interrupted by none other than the NXT Women's Champion Stephanie Valkyrie, who comes to show her some respect. And she wants a match with her. And the match happens right here on the Raw after Wrestlemania. They take on each other and put on a spectacle, which ends up ending in a disqualification after Roxanne Perez interferes and takes out Io Sky. And then Julia shows up and takes out Stephanie Valkyrie, prompting Rhea Ripley to come out to settle the score. And then her and Io have a moment, and Rhea says to her, she mouths it, if you can read lips good, that she's still coming for that title. So yeah, Io may have it now, but Rhea Ripley is just around the corner. I don't know, maybe at Backlash, maybe we'll get a rematch, I don't know. But what a match and what a turn of events after that. But next up, we have Jey Uso, our new World Heavyweight Champion, celebrating his major title victory at WrestleMania. And he comes out and says that he's going to be here every week. He will continue to put the work in. And then Sami Zayn returns and embraces Jey and says that he is proud of him and he deserves it. And then Jimmy Uso comes in and they just celebrate. The crowd's yeeting, the folks are yeeting, and all I have to say here is yeet. But next up, we have an angry Gunther confronting Michael Cole and Pat McAfee. He is angry about losing his championship. He's angry at them for having a little bit of biased commentary. And then he attempts to choke out Michael Cole before Pat McAfee breaks it up. And then Gunther chokes the mess out of him. Pat has had to be carried back to the back and get evaluated. And he could not even continue doing the commentary from the show. Joe Tessitore had to fill in. And Gunther is vicious as ever. Yes, he lost to Jey Uso. Yes, he tapped out, but he is back. He's angrier, and I don't know. Are we going to get Gunther versus Pat McAfee? Only time will tell. But next, we have Dirty Dominic Mysterio defending his IC title just hours after winning it against Penta, and he is able to retain his championship after some help from Carlito and the returning JD McDonough. They help him retain the Intercontinental Championship. Great to have JD back, and great to have Dirty Dom retaining the Intercontinental Championship. But in the main event segment, we have Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman coming out, and he doesn't even get too many words in before CM Punk comes out and brings a fight to Rollins. but Seth gets the upper hand and hits him with a stomp. But then Paul Heyman goes on to say there's only one top superstar in this industry, and that is Seth Rollins. And then the OTC shows up and takes out both Seth and Paul. And as Roman is lining up for a spear, I believe, to Paul Heyman, Bron Breakker comes from nowhere and takes him out. And he is now aligned with Seth Rollins. What in the world? I was not expecting this. Braun takes out Roman. They took out Punk, and both of them are laying out while Paul Heyman, Seth Rollins, and Bron Breakker are standing tall as Raw goes off the air. What a Raw after Wrestlemania. But with that being said, folks, please make sure to like, please make sure to subscribe. I hope you enjoyed this week's episode. I sure know I did. Always remember that Jesus loves you and so do I. Check out Ministry Minute and check out all the videos, even the Wrestlemania highlights from this past weekend. And until next time, folks, have a good rest of the week. Take care. Jesus loves you and so do I. And God bless.